Good evening. Welcome to the January 8th, 2025 meeting of the Town of Southampton Conservation Board. The board's meetings continue to be hybrid, which means that they will be held both in person at Town Hall and via video conference through Zoom webinar. If you go to the town website and click on the town clerk's agendas and meetings portal, you can watch the live stream video of the meeting, and there is a link to submit written comments for the public record. You can also join the Zoom webinar through the town clerk's portal on the website. If you are attending via Zoom and wish to speak during the meeting, then please alert our moderator by clicking the raise hand icon or type in the chat box. Thank you. I invite everyone to rise for the salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to skip the approval of the meetings of December 4th and 18th because of absences here, and pick them up at the next meeting. Public hearings A019131, Lynn Crew Revocable Trust, and the applicant requests adjournment to February 26, 2025. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak to this application?
When are we going to finally see this? This is 18 times now.
That's a very good question. We got a lot of. Oh, look at that. It's only been 4 years.
Yeah, they should be asked to fish or cut bait. This is ridiculous. Sorry. Sound like a broken record, but I'm saying it again.
Well,
Tell them maybe they got to come up with something and move this forward, make a presence here, or do something. I'm not going to keep putting them on the agenda. Not that they're pushing anyone off tonight, but they could very well
you're
decide.
being consistent,
I know.
so.
So what can we do?
They want
First,
to
maybe Marty can tell me if there's anything that's on the horizon or whether they're just blowing smoke every 2 weeks.
Well, as the board likely recalls, the agent for the applicant had presented some general information at a recent prior hearing, and he indicated that he was going to come forward with a site-specific plan. That the plan was going to be provided to my office prior to the next hearing date, giving us sufficient time for review. I have not yet received any new information.
We haven't seen them since September of 2023. Haven't even been here. Send them a cease and
I
desist
was thinking
letter.
he was here since then. But
Yeah,
September
it's-
23.
that could be a typo.
Really?
Um,
I'm still not happy. They've got to make some sort of progress. I'm not going to keep spinning my wheels waiting for them to show up.
then let's,
Let's make it December of 2025, and then maybe if they want to
Well,
do it before they can
no, let's
renotice.
let's be more helpful, and I'm thinking more towards encouraging them to fish or cut bait. So let's ask them what their plans are and say that we're planning on closing this at the next meeting unless you can show reason why it should not be closed.
So we're going to adjourn it to the did they ask for February 21st?
February
No, they
26th.
asked for a sooner adjournment at, I think, the next meeting. Yeah, but the items we have on could be lengthy, and particularly one of them. And also, I didn't anticipate that the applicant would be ready by the next meeting, since I haven't received any additional
Did they give
information.
you any feedback
So
that the
I
21st
had,
is a viable date anyway?
So I had recommended that the agent go with the meeting date that
But we
you've
find
got.
out they're not available that date anyway, and they're just going to request an adjournment again.
They're not,
What they say.
given that scenario, it sounds like they have something going on. Let's wait and pick this up next time they come before, next time we have it scheduled.
Yeah, remember that the agent that's working on this application only got involved in the past few months.
Then they need to reapply when they're ready. They can't just keep doing this if they're not ready. Changing this and changing that while they're in the midst of having the application. Go to February 21st, but somebody notify them that they better show up or not,
Okay,
because they're gonna,
I'd be
we're gonna
happy
make a
to do
decision.
that.
Motion to adjourn until February 26th.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Advisory report for the planning board. Townsend of Noyak Road.
This is a pending two-lot subdivision application for a partially developed tract at Noyak Road in Noyak. The tract currently supports one dwelling. The applicant is looking to divide the property to allow for building of a second home. There are several recommended advisory comments. The first is that a January 2nd, 2025 field assessment, together with review of town aerial imagery, has revealed that the entirety of proposed Lot 2 was cleared of natural vegetation just prior to filing of the subdivision application, with the trees felled between 2022 and 2024. The tree cutting and site disturbance has destroyed important wooded watershed land for the proximate Ligony Creek, which is valued as an alewife and an elver American eel migration run, with breeding occurring during high water years within the Long Pond Greenbelt. Second, other environmental benefits such as thermal cooling, carbon sequestration, and air purification, as well as habitat for songbirds and community character, have also been lost. Thirdly, the adverse impacts of the tree cutting need to be lessened by requiring that the applicant put forward a landscape drawing calling for planting of several additional native street trees. Fourth, the driveway for proposed Lot 2 needs to be constructed of pervious materials and be equipped with subsurface drainage, and that's in order to prevent excessive discharge of stormwater runoff onto Noyak Road. And lastly, the existing asphalt driveway for proposed Lot 1 should likewise be converted to pervious stone.
Motion to send these comments to the planning board.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Administrative wetland permits are in your packets. Resolution of initial approval, A 023063 West Invest LLC. Any discussion?
Move it. Second?
Resolve that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Invest West LLC for the proposed project upon the terms and conditions. Let's see, where was I? Conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 024053 Lynn Leahy. Any discussion?
Move to issue.
Second?
Resolved that a conditional wetland permit approval be granted to Lynn Leahy for the proposed project by the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Preliminary review of secret determination, A 02403078 Harbor Watch LLC.
This application relates to a vacant forested property on Harbor Watch Court in the hamlet of Noyak. There is a preliminary advisory report on file dated December 30, 2024. As indicated by the report, the property contains town regulated freshwater wetlands, consisting of a seasonal pond in the central portion of the property. Is the screen not working, Karina?
It's on that screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So the applicant had put forward a plan that sought significant relief from the required wetland construction and buffer setbacks as per Chapter 325. As this is an undeveloped property, the applicant is required to provide for a minimum 125-foot construction setback, a setback of 150 feet for the sanitary system, and a minimum buffer of 100 feet. The applicant's plan only provides for a 65-foot buffer and construction setback of 75 feet, which is 50 less than that required. Accordingly, consistent with the wetland permit issuance standards, I have offered to the applicant two practicable alternatives, which would increase the wetland building setbacks, provide for a larger naturally vegetated buffer, yet provide generally for the amenities that the applicant is looking for. The first sketch is a reduction of the applicant's plan, providing for a similar layout and square footage in terms of the dwelling, a small pool area, and the applicant had requested approval for a pool house because the pool house would have required approval of a setback as minimum of 75 feet. I elected to delete the pool house from the alternative drawing. The second sketch that you're looking at is actually modeled very closely off a new residence that the board had just permitted for vacant forested lands, just 2 lots to the east. That lot has very similar conditions. This plan also significantly increases the wetland building and buffer setbacks, while providing for a house and patio footprint very similar to what the applicant is requesting. It offers a slightly larger pool than the first drawing. So generally what I look for when I provide alternative sketches is for the applicant to come forward with a plan that's generally modeled after one of these sketches with regards to the allowable building area. There are some other design options, of course, that the applicant can consider. But I thought it was appropriate in this case to look to approve a development plan that's very consistent with the proximate lot to the east that has very similar site conditions. We had also granted setback relief in that case. That plan was a little bit more protective than the drawings that you see before you, and that's because the affected wetlands were a little bit further south on the property. Of course, consistent with the board's wetland protection standards, the on-site wetlands would need to be covenanted as a wetland preservation area, and the buffer would need to be established as a protected, naturally vegetated wetland, non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer. So that being said, there is sufficient information to make a determination on this application, and for the applicant to put forward a alternative plan that's reasonable for this site. As such, recommending that the hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing.
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing requirement pursuant to Chapter 325, Section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? A 024067, Todd Neufeld.
This application relates to a developed property at 52 Scotts Landing Road in the hamlet of North Sea. As you can see, if Karina, if you show them the aerial photography again, you can see that this plan has this property contains a freshwater pond and town regulated freshwater wetlands. So I did have an opportunity to meet with the new landowner prior to their purchase of this property, at which time I provided guidance in terms of how to go forward with plans for either redevelopment or expansion. The house is obviously a pre-existing non-conforming home, in that it's located only about 53 feet landward of the edge of wetlands, rather than at 100 feet as is required today. The applicant put forward a plan that seeks a significant wetland setback relief, and actually calls for expansion of the existing home significantly closer to the on-site wetlands, with the existing dwelling to be retained and renovated. As such plans don't meet the standards for wetland permit issuance, I offered two practicable alternatives to the applicant. So there are two sketches. Alternative one calls for demolition and reconstruction of the home, with the new home to be sited closer to Scotts Landing Road. The code allows for the principal building, where constrained by wetlands, to be 30 feet back from the road. The plan provides for a house that has the exact same square footage as what the applicant was seeking through renovation and expansion. The configuration of the house would be different. The schedule, so as desired by the new landowner, includes a smaller pool and patio areas on the south side of the home, with the potential impacts of the project to be offset by preservation of the on-site wetlands and establishment of a covenanted restored naturally vegetated buffer as shown on the sketches.
Is there room for a septic there? I don't see it drawn on your sketch.
There's sufficient area between the home and the road for installation of an IA. The applicant had initially planned a circular drive, and that would negate the ability to install an upgraded sanitary system. So the drive, which I showed on my sketch, is a straightaway similar to the existing driveway, so that there's sufficient area for the septic improvement. The second alternative, number 2, calls for retention and renovation of the existing home, but asks that the home be expanded on the landward side to within 30 feet of the roadway. And it also provides for a very similar southerly pool and various patio areas, and the plans would actually allow for a slightly bigger home than is currently proposed by the applicant. I did hear back from the new landowners by email communications late today. They have decided to go with alternative 2, which calls for retention and renovation of the existing home and landward expansion with the amenity of the pool and patio areas as drawn on my sketches. They have also agreed fully to protection of the on-site wetlands and establishment of a covenanted restored buffer as shown on these sketches. That being said, we have sufficient information to make a determination on the application. Accordingly, recommending that the public hearing requirement be waived.
Motion to waive the public hearing?
Second.
Resolved that the Town Conservation Board hereby waives the public hearing for petition to chapter 325, section 325-80 of the Town Code. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution to modify permit CB 19042, Bruce Bushell and Nancy Bushell, and this is postponed until January 22nd.
Motion to postpone to January 22nd.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? CB 24004, B Circ 37 Peconic Bay LLC.
The board had recently issued a wetlands permit for redevelopment of this property. The former home was heavily damaged by fire. The rear yard area takes a significant area of state and town regulated freshwater wetlands. The plans that the board approved allows for building of a new moderate-sized home with a swimming pool, decks, and patio areas, and an upgraded sanitary system. The applicant has decided to scale back the pool and patio area. So there is really nothing about the desired plan changes that would result in any new impacts to the wetlands. The original permit, of course, was conditioned upon establishment of a covenanted wetland preservation area and a naturally vegetated buffer, which the applicant is still amenable to. And the required covenants have been reported. So this change in the construction plans should actually reduce potential wetland impact. So I'm recommending that the needed permit modification be approved.
Motion to issue modification.
Second.
Resolved that a wetlands permit application be issued to B Circ 37 Peconic Bay LLC, request proposed project from the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution to issue modified conditional approval, A 022007, Todd Cohen and Jill Cohen.
This is a property at 31 Holman's Avenue in Hamlin of Queog. Some time ago, the applicant had received a Conservation Board permit for home expansion and construction of a swimming pool and patio area. However, they had modified the plans, and the buffer was not wholly in compliance, and the permit expired. So the applicant had recently filed for a new permit to reauthorize the activities that were previously approved by this board, as well as to legalize various modifications. A significant part of that application was a need to fully restore the required buffer, as the applicant had installed a hardscape that was encroaching within the buffer. So an initial plan for restoration of the buffer and legalization of the changes in the residential improvements was approved. However, the applicant has since come back and worked with me to reconfigure the buffer in order to allow the minimal hardscape encroachments to remain, to be offset by expansion of the buffer elsewhere. As part of that application, the landowner was seeking to retain a slate stone path running through the buffer to access the dock. I, of course, have advised the applicant that that stone needs to be removed. So the new plans also call for removal and replacement of non-native ornamental vegetation that's within the buffer, and the supplementation of the existing indigenous cover with a large quantity of additional native plants. So so the reconfigured buffer plan will be most beneficial in terms of protecting the on-site wetlands, and really poses no risk of adverse wetland impacts. So the resolution before you is to allow for a modified conditional approval so that the requisite wetland permit can be issued. Of course, the amended covenants will need to be recorded. The survey and revegetation plan needs to be further revised, but this will allow for wetland permit issuance so that the buffer reclamation can be completed.
Is there a motion to approve the conditional approval?
So moved.
Second.
Resolve that a modified conditional approval be granted to Todd Cohen and Jill Cohen for the proposed project on the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor? Opposed? Resolution to transfer conditional approval, A 024055, Beehive Basin LLC.
the new landowner is amenable to all the conditions of your approval.
Motion to transfer the conditional approval.
Resolved that a conditional wetland approval will be granted to the Beehive Basin LLC for the proposed project on the terms and conditions set forth therein. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?